I think I've realized that I'm actually a really bad friend, like in general.
Casper's a actual pussy for even thinking the soft mindset.
That I would take out the trash and I would fucking forget.
You're an actual pussy. Shut the fuck up. Okay, Casper. Well, welcome to the first official Damo's very illegal therapy session where I learn about your problems and we talk about them. I don't give a fuck about not giving you a disclaimer that I'm not illegal, licensed, anything. So my advice might be completely terrible. I'm just a guy who absolutely loves self-improvement, absolutely loves mental philosophy and stuff. And this is just a way, truthfully, it's more of a benefit to me. It just gasses me up to hear stuff like this and talk about these problems. I just love it. So, Casper, please introduce yourself and tell me about what's going on. You told me what is going on, but yeah, introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Casper. I live in Denmark. I'm just turned 19. That's pretty much it. I live by myself in my own apartment, moving out this weekend.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And as it stands right now, for a long time, like at least the past year, I've had a bunch of ambition. I wanted to achieve a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've wanted to get rich. I've wanted to get great at powerlifting. I've wanted to make friends, get into relationships, just in general become a better person. But the one I'm generally struggling the most with for right now is really getting myself started. It's really getting everything together and not just sitting around wasting my time. It's basically I want to achieve. It's hard to put into words for me. I don't know.
Maybe whatever words come out is the words that you're gonna use, and that's okay.
But yeah, it's just about getting started.
Okay.
Because I sit down, I'm ready to go, and I've just lost my job recently, so I had to make a form of income. So I found something I wanted to do, and I sat down. I was like, okay, just like a normal job, I'm using the next 8 hours to focus on this and really get it going.
What was the job?
I worked for 1 hour. Oh, it's not really a job. It's for instance, right now it's copywriting. I've been really interested in it. I've done a bunch of research on it. But it's really about sitting down and getting into it, learning about it. And I've just had trouble with that. I really want to. I really do. But then I end up being like, oh, I can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, watch one video. Yeah. And then my entire day just flies away.
I got you. This is actually, since the dawn of my life, has been my biggest issue. I've had so many things, but this is the one that reoccurs. And I think, especially nowadays, right? Nowadays in society with so much technology and stuff, this is the issue that brings so much shame to young men and makes us genuinely hate ourselves. Because it stops us from all these big things. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. Maybe this is something that you've never heard before, or that nobody else is on YouTube is going to say like this. But it's actually a good thing that you think like that, yet you are scared to start. You're going to have all these guys in how I say in the stage 1 of self-improvement guys who are going to tell you just get the fuck up out your ass. You're an actual pussy. If you don't do it, real men would just... But that doesn't help because that advice, yes, is motivational. It gives you a quick kick. But then 99% of those guys are still there. So, back in the old days, why we having tribes, right? You know, when we only know 100 other people, there's this mechanism in our brain that, how do I put this? It stops us from doing things until we truly know the thing that we should be doing and focusing on. And it sounds like to me you have so many different venues you want to focus. You want to make your income. You want to find some sort of thing that sounds like a lot of purpose. You just left the job, relationships with men and women. It sounds like there's so many different venues. And I think this is an evolutionary blockage in your mind, which is, it's a good thing because it's keeping you from spreading your energy so thin. And I think this could come back to something that happened in your past when you were younger. It could also come back to how you went through with your entire life. Then maybe there's a pattern in your life. And let me ask you, have there been times in your life where you've done too many things and burned out?
I think it's I don't think I can really put a finger on a specific moment where I've done too many things, but that's also a thing that I'm scared of because I realized I have a bunch of different things I want to do at once,
Yeah.
but I'm still aware that I can't. I can't just because then one thing I'm gonna focus on that, and then the other thing is gonna fizzle out and die.
Yeah.
And you don't want either of your projects to just run out.
100%. This is how I feel every single day of my life. There's always a problem that happens and you got to go solve that, and then while that's being solved, all these other problems start crumbling. So, okay. How about we do this? How come you've never just dropped some of these and just focus on one? What stops you from doing that?
I think it's just about. I've never really just done something. My entire life, between the age of 0 to 18, when I just turned 18, I was living with my parents.
Yeah.
At that time, I'd only had one job that I'd done for a year, and I never really, for one, had the like the income, like the money to start one of my projects, because some of them require a lot of money to get started off. So I know I can't do those. I still want to do them, but I've just been really. I mean, ever since I had a gaming device, I've just been playing video games. Now, about 4 years ago, I started working out, and that opened up a whole new set of doors. I've just been in love with that. Absolutely love the process. Don't care about the destination. The journey is the best thing for me.
Okay.
But I've never really just. I've never had anything like really just my own thing. We've never been working on it. I've just sat, played games, went to the gym, went home. Now was my life. I wasn't happy, but I was satisfied, I guess you could say. Like, I wasn't excelling, but I was okay with it.
You were okay with being complacent like that. So
Yeah, I suppose I was.
that's okay. What made you want to go back? What makes you look at it now and go, I want to go do something great. I want to go live to this potential that I've always dreamed of. Or maybe what makes you go, I'm even having these dreams of this life or this potential that I can reach. What is it?
I believe I can become great in certain aspects. I know I want to be able to help people. I love helping people and talking with people. For instance, that's just one thing that I love. And I know that if I'm, for instance, have a better source of income, I'm able to spend more time, supposedly, on people I care about, and just helping people. If I have more income, I'm able to help my parents, I'm able to help family, friends, all that sort. And I know money isn't just one thing. There's also like just in general being a better person. Because for me, I think I've realized that I'm actually a really bad friend, like in general.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Well, I only really have one friend. I mean, it kind of varies. It's kind of come and go.
Okay.
And that's how life is. I'm aware of that. But I realize I say some things and I portray myself in ways that I don't think is great for long-term friendships. And recently I've been very prone to lying and not being truthful,
Okay.
which I regret, but I have done. And yeah.
Can you give me an example? Or how you lost a friend, like what the situation was?
Well, it's usually, I mean, I've gotten to a point where I just accept it to an extent.
Okay.
Like, for instance, one person, I was at my gym bro's birthday party, and we were sitting outside the campfire, and then one girl, me and her, started talking a bunch, and I ended up coming on to the point that I didn't really have any friends in general. And she's like, oh, I want to be your friend. And I was like, listen, in 1 month, we're going to stop talking as much, and we're not going to be friends. What happens? 1 month later, we're not talking. I knew that was going to happen. Now, that was the real friendship. That wasn't one that was, like, daily. But in other ways, with my most recent ex,
Okay.
I was a very bad boyfriend. Let's put it at that.
What did you do?
I think I ended up not really trying. I ended up where most men, as I understand it, we get into this groove where we think everything is okay.
Yeah.
And we really don't try. Because at the start of our relationship, I was talking about the things I want. I wanted to make a lot of money, start a business, start powerlifting in competition. Wanted to do all these great things. And then I moved in with her, and then I kind of just didn't really do anything. And she was 5 years older than me, so she had a lot more life experience, and she taught me a bunch of things. I don't regret that relationship. It meant the world to me.
Was it her who broke
And
up with you, or was it a mutual?
I accepted it because we've talked about it a bunch before,
Okay.
and and
Seems like
I
a very
kind of
healthy way of her doing it.
at, at the time of the breakup,
Mhm.
because we had these talks many times of me. I never took her out. For instance, I was really dumb of me.
Yeah.
I never. I had a point where I just didn't have a sex drive, so we didn't have that much sex,
Yeah.
and I never. I was really bad at portraying that I loved her. I just played video games and
Mm.
then went to work, and I was yeah.
Do you have a lot of shame in that still?
Yes, it
Gotcha.
was very recent.
I see. Here's what I articulate from this. I see that you have all these things that you want to do, and maybe some scenarios from your past.
Perhaps I can't really put a
Yeah,
finger on it.
I think it's because, so like anybody, it's men, women, we search for comfort, right? It's just our human brain
Yeah,
design. So it sounds like you had all
yeah,
these huge ambitions as anybody gets. It doesn't matter where they come from, but you had these ambitions. You got very comfortable, you know? Um,
yeah,
and I think this is not even a problem. I think a lot of people call this a problem, but there's a lot of shame that lies in that. And you would think, oh, I'm so shameful of how I interacted with the world, like when I had this girlfriend, right? You had this
yeah,
girlfriend, you had all these dreams before, you interacted wrong, you lost your ambition, you didn't go for it. There's so much shame in that.
yeah,
And I think that's what's stopping you is that layer of shame that's there. But shame, here's where I can try to change your mindset. Shame is actually an absolutely fantastic thing. I was just listening to a couple podcasts about like the art of shame. And the emotion of shame is stronger than fear, stronger than pain, it's stronger than anything. And it used to, like in our evolution, make us so much stronger. Because back when, we're with such little amount of people, 200 people, let's say it's about who can hunt and bring home the most food, right? And you got like three of your buddies who go out, they bring home the wild boar, whatever the fuck it is, you bring home absolutely nothing. And you're ashamed. However, back in the day, there's no internet. There's no way to escape that shame. There's no video games in your case. There's no scrolling on TikTok. There's no YouTube videos. So you just have to sit there. And you have to sit there and then you go, fuck, well, there's another hunt coming up next week. I can't avoid the shame, and you are put in the position that you have to face the shame. So the issue nowadays is, and that was great. That was fantastic because you would be put back in the situation of shame and you would be forced to experience it whether you like it or not. And that's what makes people stronger. That's what makes men, women, whatever the fuck, it makes us stronger to face that biggest insecurity, that biggest shame. So it's a fantastic motivator. The issue now is you have all these coping mechanisms. So here, how about today, let's put together like a plan, okay? And narrow things down. Because I think if you can really narrow it down to two, even maybe one thing to focus on, and then we can really set a goal and set deadlines and talk about how to get there, I think not only is that going to build so much self-pride, and we'll work on it to get it so it's a balanced way of doing it, it's not absolutely stupid,
yep,
but I think it's going to last and show you in the future that you can do even bigger things after that, and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because I've been in this situation, dude. Like last year, I was exactly the same way, I had all these big dreams. I was doing amazing. I was just getting out of depression. Meet this girl. Absolutely fall in love with this girl. I've never had a relationship like that before. I've never even had like a real relationship. And embarrassingly enough, this shit only lasted for 1 month. I became completely complacent. I stopped working just to hang out with her. I got dumped. I got cheated on. I think I learned the lesson in a very unhealthy way. I went extremely red pill after that. Like, I hate women. Like, you gotta act like this. It brought up so much insecurity. And what I never want for any man watching my fucking videos, anybody on the internet, any kid out there, I don't want somebody to have to go through that insecurity process. Because it's gonna be there. That shame is gonna be there. But we have to fight through it. Okay, so let's go through like a little like exercise of how to get this.
yeah.
And I'll be here. I'll monitor. We follow each other on Instagram, and I'm sure the boys in the comment section when we post this as a YouTube video will keep checking up on you. But okay, let's narrow it down to the shortest amount of time, a 30-day goal. some 30-day goal. And I think the problem is too many of us put into big perspective. I need this number. I need this. Let's dedicate the goal towards something that's actionable that we can do every day. No matter how bad or well my business does, I can't guarantee $1,000 every day. I can't guarantee I make a sale, right? Because that's dependent on somebody else. So let's pick something that's dependent on you and let's simple it down. And I think just having this conversation will simply it down will make it easier. Okay. Stop me anytime if you want to talk about more shit. But tell me, like, first thing, the top 3 things out of your mind. Like, this is step 1. The top 3 things out of your mind right now, just come to your mind of something that you want to do, that you want to accomplish in the next month, next 30 days.
In the next month, I wanna. What the fuck do I want to do?
Go, just first thing. Trust me, this is how the purpose is found.
The copywriting. I want to get way better at the copywriting.
Okay.
I wanna not sit down and waste my time on the computer for 8 hours without doing any like actual work that I want to do.
Keep going. Two more, and we'll pick one together.
Okay, one more. I want to actually get more sleep. I'm not sleeping enough. I need to fix that.
Okay, one more.
I want to stop lying. I want to be a kinder person.
Great. Okay. Let's simple it down even more because I know these are 3 things, and right now your brain is going, "Oh, of course I can do all 3." Like, let's be honest, it's not that hard. You fix a couple sleep routines. You actively stop trying to lie to people. Easy, right? But let's just pick one. Let's make this fucking even easier, so foolproof that it's almost impossible for you to fail. You're setting yourself up for so much success right now. Pick one. First thing
I want to get better at. First thing, I want to get good at the copywriting. I want to get started.
Okay.
I want to get going.
Great. Lie your ass off. I don't care. Do all that shit. I don't care. We're focusing on this one goal. And of course, in the meantime, you're going to get better at the other shit. Like, let's be honest. But this is the sole focus for this month. This is your importance. This is the purpose for this month. Is getting good at this copywriting. Now, I don't know fucking shit about copywriting. I don't know. Can you educate me? What makes a good copywriter? Like, tell me about it a little bit.
I mean, genuinely, I really don't know actually what branch of copywriting I want to go into because there's social media copywriting, which would be you get hired by a business to sort the social media for them. That's one of them. There's email copywriting where you write out to people from a company that you get hired by. So basically, for where I'm living, I'd have to start my own company, and then I'd have to have them hire me as a copywriter for their company.
Okay, it sounds like right now the goal is based off hiring, like getting hired. We can't force that.
I suppose.
Unfortunately,
No, of course not.
We cannot guarantee that. What we can guarantee is an actionable thing to do every single day. So typically, I'm going to guess you probably get these big bouts of motivation. I'm going to fucking copyright today. And you grind and you write how many copywriting emails or whatever the fuck do you do when you're doing that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't have those bursts of energy. I really just, for now, I'm just doing the research on it. I haven't really done any work. I've just been trying to understand it, get a grasp on it, and really learn before I start going out. I know I learn a lot from failure, but I really want to have a good grasp because there's so much to learn, and I'm not even sure what branch I want to be in yet.
Okay,
so
learning. This month, we want to learn about copywriting. Sounds fantastic. Yep. But we also don't want to be stuck in a phase that you're learning forever and you're not doing. Okay? So let's break this month. I was going to say into 4. My mind said 4 weeks. Let's make it even easier. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks. First 2 weeks, we're going to do some like learning and research. Second 2 weeks, we're going to apply it. So I'm going to try to put this into the mindset of somebody who has no idea what copywriting is because I don't. And I don't care to right now. But what I do know is when you sit down and you research, tell me how long do you usually spend?
For right now, it's between 1 to 2 hours a day, no more than that. Maybe even an hour and a half, nothing special.
Great. And are there some days that you don't do it?
Yeah, 100%.
Out of a week, be honest with me, I know you're a compulsive liar. Tell me how many days you're typically doing and how many days you're just being a pussy and not doing it.
1 to 2 days I'm doing it, the rest I'm a bitch.
Amazing. Okay, great. So obviously, I'm saying the word pussy and bitch just to make you laugh because I can tell you can handle it. But like, I'm not here to be the soft fucking guy. But seriously, like words like that, like it shapes how we think of ourselves. Some guys, I'm not saying it doesn't work. For some men, hearing those words actually help. Like it actually helps to hear I'm a pussy, right? I'm a bitch. However, you can't impose that onto every single human, every single guy. Some people genuinely, stuff like that doesn't work for them. And it actually sets them back. So notice before you call yourself something or you label yourself as something, like ask if that's actually a productive thing for yourself and just be honest. And you might have guys on the internet like the Andrew Tate guys that are like, Casper's a actual pussy for even thinking the soft mindset. Shut the fuck up. It's about you becoming the best version of yourself, not them. Okay? So 1 hour and a half every single day, I think that's too much. I think that's too much because technically you're only doing about an hour and a half 2 times a week. 3 hours a week. Let's make it so dumb and simple that you can actually do it. Yeah. Do you think you can commit to 1 hour a week? And 1 hour a day?
100%, yeah.
Can you commit to 30 minutes a day?
Definitely.
15?
Yeah.
So it's just getting easier and easier, right? Okay. Week 1, we're going to start at 15 minutes a day. I want you to write this down after, or once you see this call, just remember that. Week 1, 15 minutes. You're literally thinking you're an idiot right now. You're like, why is, what does Damo think I'm absolutely really retarded? No. Let's build this habit. 15 minutes. Second week, we're going to bump it to 30 minutes, okay? And I'm not telling you third week to do or not. This is purely research. The only requirements I have for you on this is you have to do it with completely no distractions. So before you go in, I don't care how long it takes you to psych yourself up. Genuinely, I don't even care if you bitch out and you play video games for 2 hours. As long as you get that 15 minutes done a day, I would suggest putting in the same time slot every single day. 15 minutes, timer on your phone. Literally walk to the other side of your room, put your phone there, put that timer, fucking put it in a cabinet, and just grind on that. We can go through each step of how to do that, but I think you're smart enough. You know exactly how to just keep yourself in that flow zone. Force yourself, and this is not even... Detach yourself from the outcome of what research you're doing on how good the research is. Detach yourself from that. Fully attach your progress of just sitting there in front of the research for 15 minutes. Because right now you're an absolute noob at doing deep work, and that is completely okay. That is completely fine. When I went through like drug withdrawals and stuff that took away the dopamine in my mind, I wish I was smart enough to go back and only do 15 minutes of something a day instead of trying to force it, because that will burn you out. Like your brain only has a finite amount of energy, but it's like any muscle, when you can build the capability, and I guarantee this 15 minutes in 2 years will possibly turn into 3 hours of deep work. No breaks. Okay, so that's week 1. Week 2, we're going to do 30 minutes. Now, I want you to apply some things, because I think once you apply, it makes you, actually think you're doing something useful. So how can we apply it? Like, what do you actually, tell me about copywriting. So you learn the research, like, what do you actually do?
What I actually do as the copywriting?
Yeah.
Well, it's I haven't done that much research. I really want to do it, but I've been doing so little, like, honestly, less than, like, every week. Not every week I'm doing 1 hour, but 1 hour every 2 weeks, maybe. I've been doing 1 or 2 days. So from my understanding currently, it's where you sit down, it's online work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that long you work on it, because it's really you're the boss of your own time. You're being paid for your job. You're not paid by the hour. You're paid by the outcome.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's say I get let's say I get hired by a company to manage their social media about their sales on fucking flowers. I don't know.
Okay.
And then maybe they pay me to start off maybe $100 a week for that one.
And it's simply to write the copy, right? That's it. To write the actual copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you're able to use AI to just really make it for you. That's another thing I've been researching. A lot of people just use AI to make it even simpler, and to just pump it out, because you can get a bunch of clients, and then they can just make because AI is really good at making advertisement, some of them at least. So some people have just learned to use AI at a very deep level, so they can just make it do exactly what they want, and they're able to make great content out of it.
Cool. So it's technically creating pieces of content, creating pieces of copy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would spend the next 2 weeks practicing that, like practicing creating copy, right?
Okay.
And we can get really like deep and nitty gritty into exactly what copy is toward your purpose. No, fuck that. you've already built up the skill of being able to do 30 minutes now of work per day, which is like in reality that's nothing. So don't. Also, the tip is don't go over the time limit. You're gonna want to. You're gonna finish 15 minutes. You're gonna be like, oh, I want to go 30. I want to go an hour. Don't go over. Okay.
I was literally thinking that. So you're 100% right.
Yeah. You're a complete noob right now, and that's okay. So same thing. You're gonna keep this 30-minute time limit for the next 2 weeks, and you are just going to spend in that 30 minutes writing mock copy, basically, or however it works.
Yeah.
To practice that skill. And I get, okay, you finish this practice, right? You finish the 30 minutes. I'm not saying you can't do this, but like after you can spend an hour reaching out for jobs or doing that. Like, but just make sure that 30 minutes is present and focused on that thing. And I think that's something that we, like, just like all of us just suck at nowadays, is having present time. Even like notice back in the past day, the past 2 days, like, did you genuinely spend more than 10 minutes completely focused on anything? Or were you grabbing your phone halfway? You're having dinner and you're with somebody and you're thinking about a different thought, or, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, same here, man. Like, I built the skill over, like, a long time of practicing it, and it's still tough. For me, like, I'm in this call with you, and there's so many moments. People watching this right now, there's so many moments my head is thinking about something else. I'm looking at your screen, now I'm looking at my own screen. I'm noticing these things. So we can choose to, like, beat each other up about this and, like, oh, we're just shitty people, we have bad attention spans. Or we go back to the basics and do the 15 minutes and develop that skill and develop that pride.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't guarantee you're going to get the copywriting job. I can't guarantee that. But I guarantee this is going to be a practice that you can do on a month-to-month basis to genuinely speed run through your life. Because let's be honest, like, past month for you, 2 months, year, it felt like a waste, I'm going to guess. In some aspects.
Both yes and no.
Okay.
I have to say both yes and no, because I've with the job I had a leader position over in a company where I was paid very well, and I had a bunch of I had to make a million things running in my head at once, and that really taught me a bunch, and just about life in general. As I said, my ex, she had she was 5 years older than me. She has 5 years life experience on me. She's lived out of country, in country, with people, without people, alone, taking loans, all that stuff. I've learned how to pay bills. I've learned how to make my own food. I've learned how to
Beautiful.
yeah, of course. I've learned about making a budget for food as well. I've learned about managing time and all that sort of stuff. Just making a schedule, paying, like I said, paying bills again. But I learned a lot. So that's something I do pride myself in to an extent, that I've been told by a boss. My old boss had 4 companies, and he told me I was a great leader, and that was a big motivator for me. And that's so, but in other aspects, as you were saying, I've also felt like a waste. Yes. I wish I did my relationship better, because now I fucked up to the point where we're not even talking anymore. And that's all on me.
And that's okay.
And I accept that. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna get better from that point. I really wanna make myself someone I'm proud of. That's like overall. I know it's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Because at the moment I would not be proud of myself.
Okay. So
that's something I think that's something all people need to be, just proud of themselves.
Yeah. So let's say we fast forward 1 month, even 2 months. You've done this copyright work. Maybe you even landed the job that you wanted. What else in your cup do you feel like wouldn't be filled?
If I just got the job and I've done everything, okay. Depends on what else I've achieved at that point, because if I fixed my sleep schedule and I've become a kinder person, more honest person.
Let's say you fixed the sleep schedule, you stopped lying, got the job.
Yeah.
What else?
At the moment, I want to say I want to be in a relationship because I want to be right now. I cannot lie.
Okay.
You feel you're missing a part of yourself when you leave a relationship, right?
How long ago was it? Sorry.
I mean, realistically, we actually broke up. I think it was 4 months ago.
Okay.
But for me, because I lived with her the next 2 months, 1 or 2 months,
Yeah.
and she still treated me like we were in a relationship because we got together after like 7 days. I know that sounds dumb. We met each other, got together, and then a month later, I moved in with her. So we've only really known each other as partners, and we've only treated each other as partners. So I'm not gonna blame her on that part, but when we broke up, I was still treated like we were in a relationship. So I honestly thought things were getting better because we still interacted the same way. But here we are now, right?
Yep.
But it so for me it feels like it's very recent, but it isn't.
But it is. But
As-
it is really recent. You've lived almost 20 years on this earth. This was what, like 2 months ago? That's in the time frame of your life, that's very recent. So what if I told you that in a year you're still gonna be in a lot of pain over this relationship? Can you deal with it?
Yeah, I think I can. When we stopped talking, that was literally 2 or 3 days ago that we stopped the contact.
Okay.
And I feel much better. I mean, going on to the subject, I'm getting a little feely, but
Great. Yeah.
I'm way better. I'm improving a bunch. I'm feeling way better. I've cleaned up my entire apartment. That I'm gonna empty in a few days and move across to concert again.
Do you hold any resentment toward her or yourself or the situation?
Resentment, as in like
Any shame, any pain from it?
I feel ashamed that I didn't try as hard.
Have you ever?
And that's I think that's something. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think that's something we all guys who've been in relationships and you get dumped. We only really start trying once it's over. That's when we give everything. Once we've been told this is it, it's the end now. Then we give everything we have. And I wish I'd done that from the start and all the way through. And I'm not ashamed of that. Put it like that.
Have you told her this?
I think I have. That's another thing. I also have a big problem with remembering.
Yeah.
Like we could have a discussion the day before and the day after. I could have completely forgotten. And even in another conversation, she was talking about her sister was over living with her for a while, and I'd forgotten literally 30 minutes later, and I feel shame in that as well.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a medical condition or if it's just me not remembering. I am not aware.
No, I don't know either. It could be just a lack of this focus that you haven't built up enough in life. And I guarantee you, if you build up the strength of the focus part of your brain, I'm not a doctor, but wherever that focus part of your brain is, you build up that strength, these things will come a little bit more natural. I notice it in people. I have one friend who, they can't remember shit when I first met them. Now it's like they're remembering more shit than I am, dude. So these things are definitely possible to change. I would say you just got to focus on singular things that are the main focus. Because I think when like, as guys, when we don't have something that feels very purposeful, like one solid goal that's just the most important goal over everything, whatever that one goal is, I think if we have a ton of goals, it's great. However, if you have a ton of goals and they're on the same level of importance to you, it feels like they're all kind of meaningless. But if you have one thing that is the most important, even if it's just for a week, for a month, I think that can drive not only all the goals will start getting better, but I think you attach so much more of your happiness and your purpose toward just going toward a thing. If she was here right in front of you, what would you say?
Say that I was sorry, and I wish I'd done better, and that in the future, if she ever decides that I'm still the one, and she's willing to give me another chance, I'm ready to put in the work and do my part in this relationship that you deserve me to give for us to be in a relationship.
Okay.
I think that's what I would say.
Do you feel as if she always did her work for the relationship too?
While we were together, yes.
Okay.
Now, when we broke up and I still felt that we were dating, but we really weren't, that's the time where I was like, no, you're not doing your part. But of course, she wasn't inclined to. We weren't dating.
What does that part? What does her part look like to you? And what does your part look
Um,
like to you?
for me, I mean, she did my part. We had agreed that I would do the dishes. We would agree that I would take out the trash and I would fucking forget it. I didn't
Okay.
do the shopping, even though I was the only one with the car. She doesn't have a car. I could have gone. I mean, she had to tell me every time I had to do something,
Mm.
and I also felt shame in that. And she
Okay.
sat me down like literally every week, talking to me, like you need to do better at this. You need to do this. You need to remember to do this. And I just forget. And we
Okay.
agreed we would clean up once. We would clean the apartment once a week. It didn't end up doing it. I
Okay.
would do my best to try and cook, but you're better than me at cooking. But I still do my part. I was good at cutting onions, so I did that. Um,
Okay. Have you ever
and
thought that maybe the reason I don't know her. Maybe I'm gonna assume she's a lovely person. But the reason that you had such an adversity toward doing these things, because taking out the trash is not hard, right? And you know that.
no,
I hate taking out the trash. It's not hard. Have you thought that maybe it's the way that she asked you to do it? How did she ask you to do it?
it was always kind, just always sweet to tell me to do it.
Okay.
She never yelled at me
Okay.
ever.
Hmm.
She never any physical abuse, never
Okay.
any
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything like that.
That's
Um,
good. That's always a good thing.
I, I think, yeah, of course. Um, even though I hate to admit it, but I think I I I went directly from living with my parents
Yep.
to living with her, and I think I ended up to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I hate to admit it, but I think I treated her like a parent, but also as my lover.
Yeah.
But I think she also ended up treating me like a child because that's what I was. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, she had to teach me the most basic things.
Okay.
Like literally, like I would stand there and I would be bad at doing the dishes, and she'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Why do you think you talk to yourself like that? It sounds like she said it in a very kind way, and maybe she just wasn't looking for a partner that she had to teach that many things to.
Of
So,
course,
but that's okay.
of
So
course,
why do
yeah.
you say I'm stupid, I'm dumb? She thinks I'm an idiot.
Um, I think you say that to me because I've always talked down to myself.
Okay.
Um, I've always done that,
Okay.
and I'm okay with that. That's the funny thing. I know I'm sat here
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
tearing up
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit, but I've always done it, and I think that in today's world it sounds dumb, but someone needs to talk down to us, because otherwise, if we just go around telling ourselves, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," or "It's okay," doesn't matter.
Hmm.
To an extent, I feel like it makes me more tough. I need to be tough on myself because no one else is.
Okay. Well, of course, like I think the reason I can say what I'm about to say to you, and not let it affect my ego, is because like I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm just like a bigger guy. I've worked out for longer. I have like a more intimidating frame, so I can say the soft shit that I'm gonna say to you.
Yeah,
And I don't care if people think I'm a pussy because I know I'm not. But and I fully agree with you gotta be hard on yourself. Men need to be hard on themselves. It's great. Of course, we need to go make ourselves strong men. But at the same time, try to think about it like this. I think that you talk down on yourself, and a lot of guys do, and I do it to myself too, because it's actually a cope. It's actually easier for us to talk down to. And if the whole basis of this self improvement of what we're doing, how to get better, is to do like the harder path to become better, you're used to talking down and shitting on yourself. Now you might be like, what do you mean? Like that's stupid. It's hard. Like I don't want to say that to myself. I want to love myself, right? It's a lot easier to default to what you're used to than to one day try and come from a more balanced approach. And you seem like an extremely mature guy. Like what are you 2 years younger than me? When I was 2 years, yeah, I was so fucking stupid. Everything was an extreme. Everything was this way or that way. So I feel like you're already like so much farther ahead than most people toward like being
thank you.
balanced and talking to yourself.
That means a lot coming from you.
No,
Really does.
100%, man. I just genuinely think the only way to get better at this is to keep in mind. It's genuinely just to keep in mind that before you say something to yourself like that, or after you say something to yourself like that, simply ask yourself like, why did I say that to myself? Like, do I really hate myself? No. Am I really a shitty person? No. Can I get through this? Yes. And the more you question it, you'll start to get to this level of self-development, of whatever the fuck, of just knowing yourself, where you can be a little bit tough on yourself, but it doesn't come from hatred. And one of the best things I've heard or started practicing doing is thinking about, like, how interesting is it that when we talk to ourselves, we're so brutal, we're so harsh. I didn't do my 30 minutes of copywriting today. I'm a fucking loser. That's why that girl left me. Jesus Christ, I didn't learn this stuff. Oh my God, I'm never going to become that successful cigar smoking, Bugatti drink, fucking driving guy that I wish I was, because I'm a fucking loser. God, I wish I had different parents. No, I don't wish that. I'm just a failure. I'm a fucking failure. But when we talk to other people, we would never say that to them. I think the most healthy and actually the most productive way of getting better in life and talking to yourself is start to talk to yourself as if you were going to talk to a friend. So, let's, like, with your relationship, it seems like there's so much shame, which is also, I'm going to say that that's normal, dude. That is so normal. And as you're right, I know it, like, logically you're saying it. I can hear it logically, you know, that of course a ton of guys go through this pain. Yeah, it's only been a couple months. I hear you saying these logical things. But you also have to be okay with the fact that right now you are in a shit ton of pain. And no, it's not shameful, it's not gay to be on all this pain. Other people can think that. Your reality, what you see in this world, you are your main character. You are your main character, and that's okay. I'm just a guy on the internet to you. So if you are feeling this pain and this shame, that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay, and that is a normal experience in your world. Now, I'm not saying you can't get better at it and better at it with practice, but that's a normal experience. So what would you say to yourself that's going through, like, all this pain if you were just a friend to yourself? Like, if it was a friend coming to you, hey, Casper, I was in this relationship with this girl who I absolutely loved. She's 5 years older than me. Oh, she was my goddess. But I lived with my parents my whole life, and I didn't know how to act like an adult, and she stuck with me for a little bit. But then eventually she saw through my flaws, and I just feel like a loser, man. And on top of that, now I have all these dreams and ambitions. I want to go achieve them, but every single time I try to start, a couple hours later I give up, and I'm just coping by, like, watching these videos or busting nuts or whatever it is. What do you say to that friend, Casper? And you can take as long as you need.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurting. But I know you, and I know you're gonna be okay. I know you're gonna suffer, but I'll be here. I wanna be here for you. You can always talk to me. Be honest with me. I wanna listen if you want me to listen. I'll give you advice if you need it. But I know you'll be okay. I know you'll get better. Let's put it like that. You'll become the person you want to be and deserve to be. I think that's the gist of it.
Casper, you got me tearing up, man. You got me tearing up. That I'm so emotional right now because this is why I wish I learned this last year. When I was in so much pain thinking the same thoughts, I probably had way worse mental health thinking so much. I wish I learned this. I wish I could say that to myself. And I think you saying that is going to show so many young men watching this video, even if it's just 100, 1,000 people getting to this part of this video, we have never been able to learn to say this to ourselves. That was fucking fantastic. And just having that tool in your self-improvement life toolbox to be able to calm yourself down and say that. Sometimes you're going to need to say, I'm a bitch, I need to go do it. But sometimes you need to say that, and that's going to allow you to get better and actually go do it. So I just want to say, like, I'm proud of you for saying that, dude. Fucking fantastic. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
It's just a balance of that. Go do your 30-day thing. And any single time you get into a crossroad where you're starting to get all this anger at yourself, hate yourself, once you get that thought process in your mind and you remember this conversation, to be able to step back and go, what am I going to say to myself if I was a friend? That's what you should do, I think. That was amazing.
I think that's a great idea. I'll do that. Okay. I've never thought of it, but I think that's the right path.
Yeah. And you know, one day you're gonna have the thought of, fuck, no, I can't say that to myself. I'm a pussy. That's a pussy thing to say. And then you can step back from that and say, and literally go, okay, what would I say to a friend who's saying that? Being able to
Yes.
hype yourself up in a healthy way, and also being able to reassure yourself in a healthy way, being able to support yourself. At the end of the day, we're only going to be with ourselves till we die. We have to learn as fast as possible to have a great relationship with ourselves like that. And a great relationship, as you know, it doesn't come from letting ourselves go do all these degenerate things and spiral. Oh, that's okay. No. Because if it's truly one of your best friends, a brother, you would tell them the same thing. You would tell them to get up, be strong, but also that you're there for them. And that's beautiful. Okay. That was great. I hope it helped keep. Thank you so much for coming on to.
I'm certain it did.
I don't know. I
Thank you
hope,
so
man.
much for having me.
I'm honored to have this conversation, man. I'm honored. I'm so grateful to be in the position that I can reach out to people around the world and like talk about the stuff like this, because this makes me so happy, dude. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much as well. I have the exact same feelings because, first of all, you've already helped me prior to this, and I also just the idea of being able to help people. It's just I've always loved to just sit down and listen to people, even though I might not have the right answers. I just wanna. I love the feeling of knowing you're at least trying to help, doing a good thing. We should all try to do good things, especially if they make you feel great. That's a double whammy. That's great.
Okay, well, you're an amazing guy. As a friend, I'm gonna say the same thing, that you will get through it. It will be tough. There's gonna be tough moments in your life. You will get through it. But I know you're smart, and I know you're gonna keep pushing, dude. But if nobody's ever told you this shit, bro, but I love you, man. I hope you have an amazing day.
You
Peace
too.
out.
Thank you so much.